this refraction of light through a parallel glass slab. So you see, you have taken one glass slab, it is a transparent medium, and then it is opposite sides, it is in the form of a rectangle. Alright, so it is a rectangular glass slab. Now when light will fall on it, then how it will suffer the refraction. So first of all, we will draw the diagram. You please follow how I am drawing the diagram, everyone. Now, you just hold your scale, then when you will draw the incident ray, then what will happen? You see, the light is falling on the first medium, then the rest of the path you just show it, draw it without changing the position of the scale by dotted line. Alright, so you see a light ray, suppose there is a light ray AB, it is falling on the first upper surface of the glass slab. Then what will happen? So let us draw the normal. So here you see it is moving from air to glass. Means it is moving from rarer to denser medium. So how it will move? It will bend towards the normal. So you see it is bending towards the normal and then falling on the second surface. So you see, if I consider this is the angle of incidence and this is the angle of refraction, then you see what is happening for the second set of refraction when I will draw the perpendicular. Then you see here, this is also perpendicular, this is also perpendicular. So they are parallel and this is a transversal. So if this angle is R, then this angle will also be R. Now you see what is happening for the second set of refraction. It is moving from glass to air again. Means it is moving from denser to rarer medium. So how it will move? The light ray will bend away from the normal. But when you will draw the emergent ray, then you take care it should be parallel to the incident ray. Alright, you just look at it. This is the dotted line, this is the path of the incident ray. So how the emergent ray you will draw, it should be parallel to the incident ray. Now you see here, when angle of incidence is I, angle of refraction R. So here when it is R, then what will happen? This is also known as angle of emergence. Now angle of emergence E, it will always be equal to I. Is that clear what I said? So this is angle of, this is the refraction of light through a glass slab. So here you see, look at this diagram. This is the incident ray and this is the emergent ray. They are parallel to each other. So if I ask you now, how much is the deviation? What is the angle of deviation in this case? Now here, what is the angle of deviation? 0. Why? What I said, what is angle of deviation? Angle between the original path and final path. So you see here, original path and final path, they are parallel to each other. So what is the angle of deviation? Angle of deviation is 0. So here are the important points you have to remember with this topic, that when a light ray is suffering refraction through a parallel glass slab, then what is happening? Angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. E means emergence, E-M-E-R-G-N-C. Now, angle of incidence equal to angle of emergence, and if I name the diagram, then what you can write? That AB and CD means incident ray and the emergent ray, they are parallel to each other. So, as they are parallel to each other, so what you can write? That angle of deviation is 0. Clear? How much deviation the ray is suffering? No deviation. But look at the one, this was the incident ray. Now it has come down here. So what is happening? Sidewise it is shifted. Means what? We say it, the technical term we use, that is lateral displacement. The light ray is suffering, lateral displacement. Okay? And what is, how we measure the lateral displacement? Lateral displacement, generally we denote it by small d. Okay, lateral displacement is the perpendicular distance between the incident ray and the emergent ray. Is that clear? So you must learn the definition of lateral displacement. What is lateral displacement? What is the definition? I said perpendicular distance between the incident ray and and the emergent ray when light is suffering refraction through a parallel glass slab. Next is lateral displacement depends on which factors? Lateral displacement depends on angle of incidence. This is the first factor. How does it depend? When angle of incidence increases, lateral displacement increases and vice versa. Then second is it depends on the thickness of the glass slab. You see, this is the thickness T of the glass slab. How does it depend? When thickness of the glass slab increases, then lateral displacement increases. Then third factor, it depends on the refractive index of the glass slab. So how does it depend? When refractive index increases, then lateral displacement increases and vice versa. In all the cases and vice versa, I have not written, but you must write it. Okay, so factors on which lateral displacement depends, this is also an important topic for your board exam. So you must learn and remember it. Next is principle of reversibility of light. From the name only you can make out, means if the direction of light is reversed at one point of its path, then what the light ray will do? Light ray will follow the same path, but it will follow the same path in opposite direction. Okay, that is known as principle of reversibility of light. So let us understand from the diagram. Suppose the light ray is moving from A to water and it is following the path from A to B. It is the incident ray. Then when it is entering into water, it is denser medium, so it is bending towards the normal. So it is following the path C. Now what I am doing, I just reverse the path. I want to reverse the path at the point C. So how I can do it? I can do it by just placing a mirror on which the light ray is falling perpendicularly. So what I have done? I have just placed a mirror here. You see how it is falling? It is falling perpendicularly, normal incidence. So for normal incidence, you know what will happen? Angle of reflection will be 0. So the light will retrace. The light is reversed back at the point C. Now you see, according to this principle, what will happen? Now the light will not move like this, that it will follow from C to here and then it will go here, then it will follow, then it will go and come here to A. Not like that. What it will do? It will follow the same path. It will move from C to B and then to A. So as you see, you have to give the direction in the opposite manner. So from this is known as the principle of reversibility of light. And this one is very important for your board exam. The question comes like this, that it will be just given like this. This is the way the question will come. Here there is a light ray and here it is falling on a mirror perpendicularly. Now it will be asked that you show how the light will move after falling on the mirror. So what you have to do? You have to just give an arrow in the opposite direction. Alright? But some of you, those who like to study very much, what they do generally, they just write the answer like this. That light is coming from A, then it is falling on C, then they will do like this, as they themselves do. Okay, they are coming to the class, they are going from the class to washroom. Okay, following the easy path, and then from washroom to class, when they come back, then they follow the longest route, no? So, they also answer this way, that this is their answer. That what will happen when light will fall, then they will show this. But this is totally wrong. Alright, what will happen according to principle of reversibility of light? Light will follow the same path in the opposite direction. Light are very good. Okay, they are not naughty like you, that while coming, the shortest route, then while going back, the longest route. Never. They follow the same route. Okay, so you must remember. I have given the example so that this example I have given so that you can remember it. Because this is the most common mistake generally the naughty children do. So please do not do this. If the question comes in which direction it will move, it will retrace the same path. Just what will be your answer? Give the arrow in the opposite direction. That's it. Now, applying this principle of reversibility of light, we can conclude, we can get a very nice relation. Just you follow it. Now suppose this is I and this is R. So you consider the path A to B to C. Alright. So you see light is moving from 1 to 2. Angle of incidence is I, angle of refraction is R. So if I write Snell's law, what you can write? Sin I by sin R, it will be light ray is moving from 1 to 2. So how to write it? 1 mu 2. I hope you can remember. Now, if you consider the reversed path, what is the reverse path? C to B to A. So you see, when the light is moving from C to B to A, what is angle of incidence? R. So if I apply the Snell's law, what it should be? Sine of angle of incidence, that is R. 2. Sine of angle of refraction, that is I here. And what will be on the right side? It is moving from 2 to 1. So it will be 2 mu 1. So if I name it as equation 1 and if I name it as equation 2, then if you multiply equation 1 and 2, what are you getting? You see 1 mu 2 into 2 mu 1 equal to, on the left side as there is no space, I am not writing, I am saying verbally, you follow it. Sin I by sin R into sin R by sin I. So sin R will get cancelled, sin I will get cancelled. So what you will get? 1. Okay, so what is the important relation you have got? 1 mu 2 is equal to 1 by 2 mu 1. Very important relation. You have to learn it, remember it and apply it for solving the numericals. Okay. So when the light ray is reversing the path, means when you are writing the absolute refractive index of the two medium, then absolute refractive index of the second is reciprocal of the relative refractive index of the first. This is the relative refractive of the second is reciprocal of relative refractive index of the first medium. So this is the result that we are getting applying the principle of reversibility of light. So you must learn the statement of the principle of reversibility of light. You must remember this relation. Also, you must remember this diagram and its application. Now next is refraction through a thick mirror. Now whenever you are standing in front of a mirror, what kind of mirror generally we use? We use a very thin mirror. Alright, and you have seen that whenever you are standing in front of a mirror, how many images you can see? Only one image, isn't it? Now, instead of a thin mirror, suppose you are having a very thick mirror and you are standing in front of the mirror, then how many images you will get? You will be able to see. Okay, so let us draw the diagram. So suppose O is a point object you have placed in front of the, you follow how I am drawing the diagram and you too should do the same. So let us consider that light ray, first please, it is better to take the object this side. So suppose a light ray is falling on the first surface. Okay, this is the point object, light ray is falling on the first surface. Now what will happen here? Here you see this is a refracting medium. Clear? Now what will happen? That light will refract here. Okay? And this one is giving me trouble. Okay. Light will refract here and certain amount of light will suffer reflection also. So you see when you are drawing the diagram, take care, when it is suffering reflection, then these two angles should be equal. You should draw the diagram that way. Now, consider this light now, it is falling on this one, this is a reflecting surface. So what will happen to the light? Light will suffer only reflection. Because it is a reflecting surface. Certain amount of light will be absorbed and rest will suffer reflection. Then you see it is falling again on this surface. So when it will fall here, then what will happen? Then again two things will take place. Certain amount of light, that will be the less amount of light, will suffer reflection. Okay, and most of the light will be refracted. Now when we will draw the refracted light, then what you will do? You should draw it parallel to the previous one. Okay, so you see here these two light, they should be drawn parallel to each other. Then what is happening? Light is falling again here, so it will suffer what? Only reflection. So suffering reflection coming here. Then when it will come here, then what will happen? It will suffer reflection as well as refraction. So when it will suffer refraction, it should be parallel to the previous rays. Then again what will happen here? It will suffer reflection, and then here what will happen? Again it will suffer refraction and reflection. So you see it is coming out now. Is that clear? So you see what is happening here. When I have drawn the diagram, I have taken only one ray falling on it. Isn't it? But actually what happens? From the point O, at each and every point of the upper surface, one light is falling. And for every incident light, you can have so many refracted light. Clear? So let us find out what will happen. Now if I consider one ray which is falling perpendicularly on it, then what will happen? As you know, it will move straight. So if the observer receives all this light, then what will happen? Observer standing here receiving all this light. What the observer I will do, will retrace the path extend the path in the backward direction. So if you extend the path in the backward direction, then you see what is happening. It is meeting it here. Then the second one, I hope you are observing how I am extending. You to do the same. By dotted line you must extend. So when you are extending it, then it is meeting this one at points. So this will be the images formed by the light rays. So you see, when a point object is placed in front of a thick mirror, then how many images will be formed? Don't give that O1, O2, O3 and then this one O4. So 4 images will be formed. No. What will happen? I said that from the point 2 I have taken only one incident ray, but several rays at each and every point are falling. So what is happening? How many images will be produced? This is the first point you have to write. How many images you can write? Several images or infinite number of images will be produced. Is that clear? So this is one question. What are the probable question on this topic for board exam? First is the diagram, very important. Take care that these 4 rays, they should be drawn parallel to each other, and when you will extend, they should be extended in the same line, same path. It should not bend here. And second question is, how many images will be produced? How many images I said? You can write infinite number of images or several images will be produced. Then the next important part is which image out of all the images, which image will be brightest. Remember that we are generally, this is general, what I can say, observation, that when several images is produced, then first image generally is the brightest one. But in this case, the second image from the object will be the brightest. Second image from the object will be the brightest. Alright, so I am just trying to explain it first. Then I will tell you how to write in short. Because in exam, board exam, you don't have to write elaborate answer. Only the short answer you have to write. Just try to understand. Now consider this. Suppose I am considering the when the incident ray is falling, it is carrying 100 amount of energy, 100 joule of energy it is carrying. Okay, brightness of anything depends on how much energy you are getting out of it. That is the brightness. Okay, so you see here, when 100 is the incident light energy, this is one example. These are not the specific correct values. One example only I am giving, so try to get it. So suppose 100 is falling, then what is happening here at the point A? You see here, the light is entering into the transparent medium. So it will suffer, most of the light will suffer refraction. A less amount light will be reflected back and certain amount will be absorbed. So let us consider that 2 joule it is reflected, 2 is absorbed or 1 is absorbed. So 2 and 1 is 3. So how much is left? 97. So you see this light is carrying how much joule, how much energy with it? 97. Clear? Now when it will fall at the point B, then what will happen? It will suffer reflection and absorption. So absorption 1 joule. So 97 minus 1 is 96. Then what will happen? 96 joule here it is reflected. So 96 joule when it will come here, then you see what will happen. It is a transparent medium. So it will be strongly refracted. What will happen? It will be strongly refracted. Means what? Out of 96, if I consider 1 joule is absorbed, 2 joule is reflected. So how much is left for refraction? 93 joule. So look at these two rays. This ray is carrying 2 joule energy. This ray is carrying 93 joule of energy. So out of these two rays, which one will produce the brightest image? 93 joule. That's why I said O2 will be the brightest image. Is that clear? But this is not the way you can explain during the time of exam. So what is the cause that why the second image from the object will be brightest? Then you can write down the answer this way. Name it this point A, B and C. Due to strong refraction at A and C and strong reflection at B. Is that clear? But one thing girls, here I have named it as A, B, C. But if you name it as A, B, C and then you are writing this, then you know what will happen. So please take care. Understand the fact. Here these 2 points, they are suffering strong, light ray is suffering strong refraction. And here the light ray is suffering strong reflection. That is the cause that second image is brightest, not the first image. So from refraction through a thick mirror is also a very important topic for your board exam. 3 probable questions are there from this topic. First one is the diagram. And take care, from the point O you should drop a perpendicular. The common mistake you do generally is that what you do, you just extend the left side and then you draw the image. That is the wrong one. Wherefrom you have to draw the, on which line you will draw the image? From the point O you will drop a perpendicular. On that perpendicular line image will be formed. Is that clear? And secondly, while drawing the diagram, these rays should be parallel to each other. Okay, this is the first probable question. Second question, how many images will be formed? Several images will be formed. Which one will be the brightest? Second image from the object will be the brightest. What is the cause? This is the cause that refer to the diagram, that due to strong refraction at these 2 points which are named at A and C and strong reflection at the point which are named as B.